Hello, hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to lesson one, which is the purpose of a spiritual business. We're going to discuss in great detail the purpose of a spiritual business. Why does a spiritual business exist? Why does a spiritual business exist? So, all businesses exist for a purpose, they have a mandate for existing in the same way that you and I, as individuals, have a mandate and a purpose that we have been sent here on earth to achieve, and we exist for that purpose. However, for most businesses, their purpose is generally profit driven. People or businesses will start because people are seeing a particular market or a particular sector as lucrative, as having opportunities to make money, and therefore they will go into that space and start a business in that area because it's simply a lucrative opportunity that will make money for business owners, as well as money and profit, or maximize returns for shareholders of the business. So in these businesses then that are existing for profit as their main and sole reason, you will find that success in these spaces, success in these organizations and companies is measured purely on a financial basis. So what is a measure of success in this business is simply around how much profit have we made this year compared to last year, and how can we make even more profit the next year, or year on year, or even month to month. However, what I've also seen is that there are businesses that have moved on to embrace a much more broader reason for existing, where profit is not their only motive for existing. Of course, profit is important for business to exist. Otherwise, you would not be in business if you're not making profit. You might as well run an NGO or an NPO, non-profit organization. But the minute you define your organization as a business, by virtue of that, you need to make money. However, some organizations and companies have moved beyond money alone and profit alone as the reason for existing, and are now embracing a much broader and more noble identity and reason for existing. And they call themselves corporate citizens, which are organizations that exist to make a positive impact in the communities that they serve, the people that they serve through their products and through their services, as well as make a difference in the lives of their employees. Right, so they have that holistic approach called the triple P, and that they have a focus and a strong focus, and a measure of success is on the people that they are serving, the communities that they are serving, and the people that work for the companies. And the second P then is the planet, the environment that they work in. They're very much conscious of the environmental impact that their operation is having. And so they make means and policies around how to work safely and how to have a lesser less damaging impact on the environment. So they'll have green policies to run the organization in a much more green way and reduce the carbon footprint, in the environment. And of course, the third P then is the profit, because they exist to make profit. So it's profit, it's people, and it's planet. Grand reasons, for existing as an organization. However, in this course, I really want to take it a little bit further and say we can even add another dimension to the triple P, which is the spiritual aspect, the spiritual dimension, the spiritual intelligence. So we need to get to a point where we say, how can we run organizations that are that are spiritual, where our employees can bring their whole selves, spirit, soul, and body into these organizations? And how can we create such spaces that are psychologically safe for people to bring their whole selves, spirit, soul, and body in it? And why it becomes important is that, remember, our organizations are run by individuals. They are run by people. They are run by human beings. And human beings are triune in nature. Human beings exist as spirit, as soul, and body. And so if human beings who are running our organizations and are spending 8 hours of their time working for our organizations, if that is the case, then surely there is a way in which we can create our organizations as spaces where these human beings and these people can bring their entire selves, spirit, soul, and body into the organizations, right? Because what I have seen is that in the organizations we've been very good at engaging people in two dimensions only. We're very good at engaging individuals at the level of their mind, their cognitive aspect. We will train people, we'll engage people, we'll challenge them, we'll equip them with skills cognitively to think better, to do things better. Their hands will give them skills, train them skills to do certain things better, etc. We're very good at that. We'll even motivate them to do that which we want them to do with their minds and with their hands and with their feet for the organization. However, I feel that to a great extent, not all organizations, but a large number of organizations are still run by employees who are bringing only parts of themselves. They're still leaving their spiritual aspect behind. You find that the spiritual aspect is left to Sunday fellowship. The spiritual aspect is left to Sunday gatherings or other gatherings with spiritual people or in spiritual organizations. It almost becomes almost taboo to mention spirituality in the same sentence as professionalism, as if to become spiritual is not, to become spiritual is not seen as being professional. And this for me is problematic because our spirit being is one of the biggest parts of our lives. It is actually I want to call it the powerhouse of our identity as triune beings, spirit, soul, and body. So to rob organizations and to rob ourselves of this powerhouse of our spirit being, we're actually doing those organizations and humanity a huge disservice. Because the spirit is one aspect of our identity where literally God resides. The DNA of God resides in our spirit being. The ability of God, the ability to do things that God can do. Because remember, we were created in the image and likeness of God, our creator, our maker, and our father, right? He created us in his image. And so it means we have the faculty in our spirit dimension, the faculties and the ability to do things that God can do, that creative ability, those innovative abilities, ability to conceptualize, to create through thought, to create through spoken words, to create through imagination, to create through all of these aspects that are similar to the DNA of our God, the DNA of our Maker, the DNA of our Creator. And so to deny our organizations and to deny our businesses access to this huge dimension, this huge powerhouse, really is doing a disservice to ourselves and to humanity, because our spirit being and our spiritual dimension is what I want to call our God ability. Our God ability. Because that is where all our ability that are God-like, that are like our Father, reside. All our God ability, our creativity, innovation, imagination, all of that resides in this spirit realm and the spiritual aspect that I believe is not sufficiently tapped into. So it really is my view that through accessing and using our God ability, that's the new term that I'm throwing, through using this God ability, which is found in our spirit realm and in our spiritual dimension, we are able to access uncommon wisdom. We are able to tap into the mind of God. We are able to tap into the mind of Christ through the Holy Spirit that resides in our spiritual dimension, right? So we are able to tap into this mind of God, this divine intelligence, and access these innovative divine solutions that will change the world, that will bring, novel and new solutions to the challenges that we are facing in society, to the challenges that we're facing in the world. So that's where we need to tap those novel and groundbreaking ideas in. We tap them from the spirit realm. So, because in my view, if we're only using our soul, which is our mind, etc., we can research, we can read, and etc., but we are limited in terms of getting and tapping into novel ideas. So if we just use our minds only to study, to research what has been done, we are simply just rehashing past methods of doing things and improving them here and there. But if we access our spirit realm, our higher, deeper dimension, where we're able to access, that uncommon wisdom of the Holy Spirit, that uncommon wisdom of our Creator, of our Maker, of God, we are then able to bring groundbreaking, novel, innovative ideas and solutions to the challenges and problems of humanity. So why is it that we are robbing ourselves of such a powerful, spiritual fountain and powerhouse? Why is it, what is it that makes us believe the lie that spirituality doesn't have a place in businesses? What makes us believe that to be professional to be spiritual is not professional, that you must leave your spirituality at home or at church or at a spiritual gathering? What makes us remove spirituality from our definition of spirituality? What makes us think that things like mindfulness, spirituality, meditation, prayer, and thinking, and accessing the wisdom of God, what makes us think that those aspects are not professional, or they are less professional? So in this course, I want us to delve into this, and I really believe that the time has come for us to express and fully voice our spirituality in our businesses, in corporate society, in our own individual businesses. We need to express that voice of God, that voice of the Spirit in our boardrooms, in our own businesses, and in the organizations. We need to bring that voice back. That voice needs to be heard, and not have this thing that we are currently experiencing, where we are segmenting ourselves, compartmentalizing ourselves, and saying, when I'm going to work, I'll take my body there, I'll take my hands, my brain, my mind, I'll take it there, but I'll leave my spirituality behind, and I'll leave it behind, and I'll practice it at home when I come back, or on Sunday when I go to church, etc. And I want to say to you, we are meant to live our whole authentic beings daily. That is God's plan and purpose for us, to live our whole authentic selves, our whole authentic beings on a day-to-day basis. Not leave parts of it at home or see it on Sundays only. We are meant to radiate the full expression and spectrum of our being to the world, to our workplaces, to our businesses daily. So when we go to that office on Monday to Friday, you need to bring your whole self, your full spectrum, all 7 colors of the spectrum need to be there at work when you go and you work. All 7 colors of the spectrum of your soul, the spectrum of your spirit being, the spectrum of your body, all 7 colors of that spectrum need to light and shine daily. Because the Bible says we are the light of the world. Light comprises of 7 colors. If you look at physics, it tells us that light comprises of those 7 colors. So we need to make sure that as the light of the world, we are lighting the light, the workplaces that we work in. We are lighting the organizations that we work for. We are light to even the businesses that we are running on our own, and we are expressing that authentic light in its full stature of 7 colors of the spectrum. So this program will then share some practical ways and principles in which we can create thriving and spiritual businesses where employees and entrepreneurs can bring their whole selves, their whole spectrum of 7 colors to work and shine their light in their daily interaction at work. It will also help you as an entrepreneur running your own business to create a workplace that embraces the spirituality of your employees. And it will also help you to apply spiritual principles to run a thriving and successful business. So simply put, a truly, spiritual business is a business that serves humanity. It is a business that is the hands and feet of God. A spiritual business is an extension of God's nature. If you and I are to truly say we are running a spiritual business, that business needs to be an extension of God's nature, character, and DNA. It needs to express and embody the nature, the values, the character of God in the way it conducts its business and in the way it provides solutions through products and services that its business produces for the community and the nation that it transacts with and that it serves. This kind of a business, a spiritual business, is a business that brings heaven on earth, because it is a business that expresses the full nature of God through the way it conducts itself, because it is an expression of his love, an expression of his character, of his nature, of his DNA, of his character. All right. So everyone that transacts with this spiritual business needs to and must experience and encounter all of the values that are related to God, all of the values that are related to love, values that bring the highest good of society, values that bring the highest good of everyone that company or organization is interacting with, values of the highest frequency, values and character and nature that represents the supreme spirit, the supreme intelligence, which is God. And we all know that God is love. We know that God, our creator, our maker, is love. Therefore, a spiritual business operates from the core value of love. Love for the author of life and the giver of wealth, love for its employees, love for its stakeholders and the community it serves, and love for humanity. This is what a spiritual business is all about, that I'm sharing with you. So I said to you that God is love. What is love? What are the attributes of love? We know that scripture in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4 says that love is patient. It's patient, love is kind, it doesn't envy, it doesn't boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others. Love does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking, it's not selfish, it's not easily angered, it doesn't record or keep wrongs done to it. Love doesn't delight in evil, but it rejoices with the truth. It always protects, it always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. Now, listening to this description of what love is and these attributes of love, ask yourself, are you currently running a business that embodies these attributes of love? The way you treat your employees, the way you treat your clients, the way you produce your products and your services. Is it done out of love? Is the motive love? Is the motive to serve, love, and honor your clients and your customers through your products and services? Or is the main motive to make as much money as possible, squeeze as much profit from them as possible. What is the main motive in the company that you work for? What is the main motive? Do you see that love is expressed in the decisions that are made in that company? Ask yourself that question as you reflect. And I know that we have been conditioned in the professional space and in the business space to use the word love, only in certain contexts. I can use the word love when I'm speaking about my husband or my children or my friends or my parents, etc. Those contexts we seem quite okay and quite comfortable using the word love. However, we're not so comfortable using the word love in the platform or context of business. Why? Why are we not comfortable saying to our colleagues, I love you, I honor you, I care for you, I respect you? Okay? So love needs to permeate everything, the value and the culture of our organization. And I want to say to you, if any organization wants to reach its optimum potential and its full stature, remember I said full stature is when you have all the 7 colors and you are a true light of the world. If any organization wants to, attain its full stature, its full spectrum as a successful entity, love is to be the cornerstone. Love is to be the center of why it exists and how it conducts its business. I want to borrow from beautiful lyrics from a song that I love, one of my favorite songs by Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warnes. It's called Love Lifts Us Up Where We Belong. I think some of you know it. The lyrics go like this: love lifts us up where we belong. Love lifts us up where we belong. Where the eagles cry on a mountain high, on a mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong, far from the world below, up where the clear winds blow. So there's this whole indication that love is what takes us from the lower levels and takes us to ascend to the top of the mountain, to reach mountain highs, to be where the eagles cry. I particularly like the same song, which is also rendered and sung by Bibi and Cece Winans, where they've done a beautiful spin and they replace the word love with Lord. Lord meaning God. And so their version goes like, Lord, lift us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Lord, lift us up where we belong, far from the world below, far from the world below. We belong up there on a mountain high, where the eagles fly, right? And so by them replacing the word love with Lord, there's actually nothing wrong. It's not even changing the message essentially, because as I said when I started, God is love. Love is God. So essentially we are saying, what the song is saying is that if we do business from a place of love, it is the greatest key to lift our businesses up to where they belong, where their full stature is, to their full stature and their full purpose and existence as businesses, as platforms of God's expression, as platforms of God's love through the products and services that those businesses produce. So when our reason for being in business is motivated and characterized by love in everything that we do, our love for the products and services we offer, our love for the customers, and the communities that we serve, we are then able to reach these great heights as businesses. And if you have invested in this program, and you're listening to me right now, you have invested in this program as an entrepreneur, someone that has their own business, you have the executive authority and autonomy to create and redefine the purpose and identity of your business to that of a spiritual business or a conscious business. You don't have to, go jump through hoops and crooks and ask a lot of people for a lot of permissions for you to change that. You are the founder, you are the owner of the company, You can decide, put a peg on the ground to say, my business is a conscious business. My business is a spiritual business. It is a business that cares about humanity, a business that serves humanity. It is a business that partners with the divine, a business that partners with the divine intelligence, with God, with the Holy Spirit in executing the mission of God, the will of God through the platform of my business. You can even infuse that in your purpose. You can infuse that in the way you treat your clients, the way you treat your employees. You can change your policies, etc., to express the fact that the purpose of your business is holistic. It's broader than just making money. And if you are an entrepreneur, we're already working for a company, you can certainly influence. You don't have as much executive authority as someone who's owning their own company to change the course of their company, the purpose and the identity of the company. You don't have that much of a authority or autonomy, but you can certainly influence as a leader or as an employee in whatever sphere that you are in. So really, as I finish this part of this section of the training, I want to just say to you, a thriving company needs to be centered on love, centered on serving humanity through its product and through its services. And how can it do this? How can that company do this? How can you be, a soulpreneur or a conscious business or a spiritual business? We've heard a lot of names, buzzwords coming out around what these people are called. Some of them are called spiritual entrepreneurs. Some are called soulpreneurs. Some are called soul-sourced entrepreneurs. Some are called soul businesses. There are lots of names, but all of that, or some are called heart-centered businesses. All of that revolves around, I want to run business with a soul. I want to run business from a heart-centered place, not business from only a profit-driven sense. So what is a soulpreneur? What is this kind of a person that says, I want to run a heart-centered, soul, spirit-led organization? A quick definition of what a soulpreneur is it's a spiritual entrepreneur. It's an entrepreneur or a coach, freelancer, artist, a light worker, knowledge worker, expert, consultant in any field that you are gifted is. You could be even a service provider, providing companies or individuals with various services and products. You could be a product manufacturer, a product seller, distributor, whatever line of business you are in. The only difference is that you don't see your business as just a channel to make money. You see it as from a holistic standpoint, as an opportunity to express your higher self, to express your higher purpose through the platform of this business. You see this business as an opportunity to express the love of God to humanity through the products and services that you provide. And therefore, it influences all aspects of your value chain. The whole drive of love and servitude, serving humanity, influences all aspects of your value chain. You are serving from a place of love. The products that you are giving to people are not products that are going to bring people into danger. They are products to help people, products to nurture people, products to develop people, products to help people level up, and even the way you treat your employees, your clients and everything, it has that essence. It carries the essence of love. It means that when you're not, if for instance you are an entrepreneur and you're a professional and you're already working for another person's company or another corporate organization, you are following a career path that aligns with and portrays your passion and your purpose in life. So your career progression and your career choice was not based on which company or which profession makes the most money, but your career choice and what drives your next decision in terms of which company to apply for, which position to apply for. It's driven around what are your values and how can you add value in in the next role that you're applying for? How can you be of value in that organization that you're working for? And you also look at things like, is there an alignment between the purpose of that organization you're applying to work for or you are currently working for with your own individual purpose? Because where there's that alignment between organizational purpose and your purpose, you are able to thrive, you are able to flow in that organization. So ask yourself these kind of questions. They are in your guide. These questions will help you determine whether you are a soulpreneur. Ask yourself, do you have a desire to share your gifts, talent, experience, and wisdom and solutions with the world? Do you have that deep desire? Do you have a niggling feeling that it is possible to monetize your gifts and your talents to create a thriving business that helps others, to provide solutions and to society, and whilst you're still profitable? Do you believe you can combine these two? You can be profitable while still being of service, to others. Do you believe that you have, do you believe that business, whether yours or your company's, a corporate giant that you're working for, should exist to serve humanity through its products, its services, while still making profit? Do you believe that the two can coexist? Do you have a deep desire to leave a dent, that mark, and leave a legacy through the contribution of your business in the world? Do you have that need and that deep desire? If you're currently working in the corporate environment, do you sometimes feel in this environment that you can't fully express who you are? Like there are certain aspects and dimension of yourself that you feel you can't fully express in the space. Do you feel that? Do you feel that your voice, the certain aspects of your voice and your truth that is not being heard in that space, in that organization? Do you feel that you are not being heard? Your message, the truth that you carry, is not fully being heard, that you have to almost sift and decide which aspects of yourself you have to bring through in this space? Do you believe that, are you willing to share your authentic truth, your message, the message that your life carries? Are you willing to share that with others and connect with them? Are you willing to do that? And are you willing to start where you are today? Are you willing to start where you are today with the knowledge that you have now, the experience that you have today, and then refine as you go along? Are you willing to not say, I'm waiting for perfect conditions, but I will start with that which I have in my hand? What do you have in your hands, Moses? Moses had a rod, and God was able to use that rod that Moses had. So the experience you have, the time you have, the talent you have, are you willing to start with that and see how God uses that to change the course of humanity, to make a difference to humanity through your life, through your business and your businesses? Are you willing to learn on the fly, like learn as you go? None of us have the whole picture when we start. We are all starting with what we have, and then we learn as we go. We adapt, we refine as we go. We don't wait for perfect conditions to know everything before we start. We start with what we have at the time. Are you willing to do that? To learn on the fly? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, then you are a soulpreneur. You are someone and a soul that is wanting to express itself through the platform of a business. Someone that wants to serve humanity through the platform of a business. Someone that wants to impact the world through your products and services that will bring solutions to the challenges that humanity is facing. So before I go to the next section, which is around your individual purpose and the purpose of your business, I want to just end off here and say, pause, answer these questions in your guide, write them down, and then you're going to bring them all together, bring all your answers together in the next session, in the next clip, where we will talk about what is your individual purpose and what is the purpose of your business. For this section, we will end here, and in the next clip, we're going to talk about your individual purpose and the purpose of your business. And we will bring that out all together into a soul, a purpose statement for your individual self as well as for your business. So let's stop this clip for now. I want to give you some time to reflect on the questions that you have answered, and then construct those into a purpose statement for yourself. See you in the next session when you talk about your individual purpose and the purpose of your business. We're going to do a short clip on just the individual purpose statement and the purpose statement of your business. Bye for now.